Good morning. Shall we play a tune and read a note from a new book I found? Recently I had a conversation that apparently we might be fully in the Aquarian age right now. Is that right? Anybody know some details? We had a beautiful new moon gathering, and I have it in good faith that the recent Lion's Gate was the actual final gateway to be fully in the Aquarian age. Well, what does that mean? What do you feel like these days? So the Aquarian, what I know about it is water bearer. Water carries memory and information. What does that mean for plants when they drink water? What does that mean for us? How connected are we? Have we ever been separated? Well, feels like now there's a real reconnection to the awareness. Not a mental awareness, not a theoretical awareness, but the real physical knowing and feeling. What I feel is real. Not just for me, but for the whole. So what does it mean if I'm struggling? Is it a reflection of the world struggling? Or is the world a reflection of me? So what does it mean to create sound? What does it mean to make music? What does it mean to hum? Huh. What does it bring up for you when I say, let's activate your humming wealth? Oh, wait, am I going to go sit on the corner and hum for wealth? Hum for a handout, please. Give me something. Come on, isn't this beautiful? Well, what's really beautiful is that feeling inside. The feeling that comes when the reconnection happens. And it's quite simple, you see, when there's music playing, your left and your right brain is balancing. You're also feeling a bit more into your heart, and you're getting your heart and your brain into coherence, because basically the heart is where it all began for your body. So if you're living from your mind and you're not connecting the heart, you are neglecting the vital life force that flows through your being. Somebody wants some vital life force flowing in an adventure of some kind. So the world gives it to your blood, to your being. Interesting thing is that it's not all about the blood. It's about the culturing of what we've come to call the nervous system, nervous, nerves intertwining, interconnecting. Why have we started to equate this with stress and negative tension? Perhaps because we have neglected the very basic and overwhelmingly amazing gift of the natural sounds of life. We've fallen in love with our capacity to propel. And so we've drowned out what has been given to us, to nature us, to connect us, to nurture the inner ease. So I sing, flow, river, flow, flow freely. Oh, great river, sing your song in our hearts. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, oh, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Hi, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. So you see, while I'm humming, while I'm singing, I'm feeling tensions, right? I'm thinking thoughts. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, am I even doing the right thing sometimes? I'm slipping in and out of pure presence and enjoyment. And in that slipping in and out, I have a choice. How do I treat myself? Treat myself. What do I give? What do I do? What do I nurture myself into? And that, for me, is far more potent in inquiry than what do I want to do, or why am I resistant to doing it, or why am I even here? here? How am I here? So many ways one can answer that. Well, I guess rather than thinking all too much, let's take a moment. I'll guide a little heart center breathing and gratitude activation. I encourage you to listen to the sounds beyond my voice and to let the nurturing that beats inside of your heart be your nectar. Breathe in through your nostrils and relax. And on the out breath, simply sigh out and release. Breathe in again through your nostrils when you're ready in your flow and pause halfway. Notice where there's tensions in your being and then breathe in all the way. Expand and sigh out when you're ready. Do another paused halfway in cyclical breath and all the way in when you're ready. Flow and hum and sigh and release. Now move as you feel. Shake, pat, stroke, run, and feel what feels right for you. And as you breathe in through your nostrils, you're breathing in 15 times more nitric oxide than if you're simply just breathing. So keep the humming going for a little while. Simply just drop it into the body. Don't worry about what sound you're making, really. The low, groany sounds can be really particularly helpful, but you do not need to go there. The interesting thing if you're a singer, if you're interested in singing at all, the higher or the lower you go in your toning and practicing, the higher you can go. So this kind of practice inadvertently does improve your voice, allows you to sing better and flow better with the music that you're making if you're creating songs, singing in the shower. So you'll have fun with it when you get to be in your own flow, and you can use these same principles as I do when I'm singing to help to renature and come into flow and really get most out of that time and share the most authentic sharing I can share at that time. So continue just in your own breath to flow. When you hear my voice, do not stop. Breathe in through the nostrils, relaxing the belly and letting the sound drop out. Flow your own flow. Breathe into your heart as if it has a nose. And feel that expansion of the attention you can give into your heart that grows out into the chest. And now just savor whatever in your life you can feel truly grateful for. A memory, or current experience, or some future glimmer of a potential that you are endeavoring towards achieving. And you can here now already culture yourself to feeling grateful, because you know if it's in your inner sight, it is already in the world. gets gathered to you as you magnetize yourself to being that. So just feel this warmth of this gratitude in your being. And I invite you to expand it, to really listen into the sounds surrounding where you currently are, and imagining for yourself the expansion of the area surrounding where you are situated. Feel into the ground beneath, the air above, the waters, and also the fires, and the sparks of life in all of the other beings. And expand your gratitude to share it for this moment, knowing that sound carries intention, and a part of the sound that you are humming is continuing to the ends of the universe. So follow it to grow the expandedness of your perception of self through these various boundaries of being. Grow through the biosphere, and expand through to the great mysteries returning to itself. To play, to feel. Sharing that gratitude. Breathe it in as that is the air you're breathing into your heart, and bring your awareness back from these far reaches. Back through the Milky Way and the solar system, and into the earth, its atmosphere, its bioregion. You're in, down into the ground beneath your feet, and feeling the weight of the gravity here now, placing you where you are. Hum. And feel that humming in your heart. If you're gentle enough, you can feel the rhythm of your heart pulsing into the sound of your voice. Now relax. Balance and align. Bring your eyes back to center with a focus to relax the muscles around the eyes, and to center them gently upwards in your gaze. And if anything comes up for you in this movement, it is your opportunity to breathe and let the vibrations of your voice move through whatever that density is, that tension, when you feel it in the body, or when it arises as an emotion or a thought, a connection to somebody in your life, or a powerful identification of who you are and how you should be acting in this circumstance, or what others might be thinking of this. There are so many different ways we could look at ourselves, how we look and how we interact with ourselves in that moment by moment path of being. Creates our lives. So I'll begin this morning with reading. There's been many books that I've intended to read like this. Because I do love reading and I do love speaking my reading. So this is a sharing. I'll continue in the mornings to read a short section and perhaps do some short practice or sharings. So this book is written by Trevelyan. The title, A Vision of the Aquarian Age, the Emerging Spiritual Worldview. This book was published in 1984 by Still Point Publishing in Walpole, New Hampshire. Foreword by Trevelyan. This book is in no sense dogma to be believed. It is an attempt at exploration of ideas with a capital I, which are alive and can therefore enter our consciousness and bring change. We can all recognize the faculty for apprehending an idea for its very beauty. We seize it out of the ether with the feeling, that's lovely, that gives meaning to life. And then all too often the cold intellect comes in and says, oh no, you don't. You can't prove that, and you must not accept what cannot be demonstrated to the senses. But we are exploring the supersensible words. The technique is to take these ideas, if we like them, and learn to live with them as if we believed, while at the same time reserving judgment and watching life in the light of them. Then there is no need for argument. That debased form of human exchange. Ideas of this sort are alive and will therefore draw to themselves a certainty as one lives with them. I read that sentence again. Ideas of this sort are alive and will therefore draw to themselves a certainty as one lives with them. A remarkable change is taking place in the intellectual climate of our time. The holistic worldview is penetrating our consciousness and superseding the rational materialism, which is surely proving inadequate to explain our fantastic universe. Really, we are recovering what was called the ageless wisdom of the ancient mysteries. Really, we are recovering what is called the ageless wisdom of the ancient mysteries. So just to point out, ageless with a capital, wisdom, capital letter, mysteries with a capital letter. Ancient is with a small letter. Really, we are recovering what was called the ageless wisdom of the ancient mysteries, which knew that the universe is mind, not mechanism, that the earth is a sentient creature and not just dead mineral, that the human being is in essence spiritual, a droplet of divinity housed in the temple of the body. This vision, once apprehended, lifts the basic fear of death in our death-ridden culture. The body may be destroyed, but the soul, spirit in each of us is deathless and immortal. Our age is filled with prophecies of doom and breakdown, which are obviously alarming. But the greater truth is that there is no death without rebirth, no renewal without the breaking down of outdated structures and habit patterns. Just because the world is so mad and so bad and so dangerous, it is valid to look at the apocalyptic picture. This suggests that behind disaster is a transforming power at work out of the living whole, which can cleanse the planet, sweep away much that is negative, and bring in a new age. We certainly approach years of dramatic change. Technocratic man in greed, avarice, and ignorance has failed lamentably in his stewardship of the planet, and the living earth hits back at him in ever-increasing disaster. But the grasping of the holistic worldview leads directly to the emergence of an alternative lifestyle, working with the living earth, and not merely raping and polluting her. This means nothing less than the emergence of a new human species filled with a love for all life and a readiness to serve the whole in caring, cooperation, and compassion. It has been called mulier or Homo noeticus, a human being balanced male-female of developing consciousness. This may give meaning to the statement, "The meek shall inherit the earth." For behind Noeticus is a divine power which, in the long run, is absolutely inconquerable. Wow. certainly the vision of the spiritual nature of man and the universe brings the conviction that the human potential is unlimited and that we stand at the threshold over which a quantum leap in consciousness is possible. Cosmic consciousness, a blending of mind with universe mind, is being achieved and demonstrated by more and more people. Cosmic consciousness, a blending of mind with universal mind, is being achieved and demonstrated by more and more people. This world picture by no means implies that we just sit back and let God do the job. Human initiative is the vital factor, but we are working with energies of life and being from the ocean of divine intelligence, which can bring about change. There never was such a generation in which to be alive. Look up, for your redemption draweth nigh, quote unquote. Look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. You're a light in this light, and the tide is high.